Bit of a slow process.
Slow process. We're running out of time.
Split cocker.
It's starting to take shape, isn't it? We're back again. Now, the last thing I did was I used the router. We had a small slot here, and I don't know if you can see those. I've cut those, machined those out, and I did both ends, and I've made some plugs to go in there, which they're just to fit in there, and we'll just glue those in. I just need to trim up this edge here so it looks a little bit better, then we can glue those in place. And so as not to waste the glue, one of the other panels that I've got to glue on, a piece broke off, so I'll where is it? Here it is, here. So I hope you can see that there. So this piece here, when I was testing it, has fallen off, so I might just glue that back on. So we've got a bit of glue there, and I think I had another small crack in it somewhere, but we'll find that, and we'll get this underway. So here we go. Okay, so we'll take this piece. I'll just clear up this edge. Okay, so we're still a bit proud. I might just put a pencil on there to work from, and have a look at this one. And this one's similar. I'll clean it up first, and we'll see what happens. Have a look down here. Okay, so it's a little bit proud on this side. And get a pencil and I'll mark those up. I'm just going to glue these pieces in. I've just sanded them, so they're now pretty good, but I've still got these glue marks. So while I'm gluing this in, I'll just clean these up, and if there's any more glue to go in, I can do that now. Same down this end here. You can just see there's just a bit of glue hasn't come up to the top, so I'll give this a sand, and when I glue these bits in, I'll just run a bit of glue down here as well to fill them in. You can see in here, when I've glued it, we haven't quite got all the glue coming up to the top. It's not really a problem, so I'll just run some more glue over the top. I might just put a chisel just to clean it a little bit, so we can get some more glue in there. And this other end, the other end's not too bad, there's a little bit missing just here, but we'll clean all that up, so it'll all look good. Well, I've glued the first part of the, this is the backing part for this part here. This is what we're going to bolt onto the boat, and I didn't get to film it. I was a little bit in a bit of haste to try and get it done. So what we're going to do now is, when I lift this up, I've lifted it up, we're going to lay the next piece on the top. So this one will go here, go over the joint, we'll add pieces on, then we'll do it again. So we're going to end up with approximately 32 millimeters of timber thickness here, which will be bolted onto the back of the boat. So when I fitted this on yesterday, I've screwed it on as well. See if we can get some of these screws out. If not, they'll stay in there for eternity. Might have to clamp it up a bit. It's a bit wobbly. I just put a clamp down the end there so we've got a bit more stability now. So. Right, I managed to get all those screws out and we can use them on the next piece. Right, I've cut these pieces here. The reason why we're doing it this way this time is that so our joints are overlapping. So this piece will go across that joint and make it stronger. Then the next piece will come over the top of these joints. So we'll have everything really strong. So what I've got to do now is go and drill these ready to be screwed down for when I glue it. I've done this one yesterday, as you can see, and I'll do these ones as well. So there'll be about 3 screws in that. I may have to put a few more in, but we'll see how we go. If I don't pre-drill the holes in here, what happens is if I try to put the screw without drilling it, it just splits the timber. Now what I'm going to do is countersink the top so the head of the screw goes down flush. I marked the underside before I started so I know which way it goes. So you can see here, I hope you can, we've got countersink hole, there's a straight one, countersink, so the head of the screw sits down inside and goes flush. The reason why I do that is if I can't get the screw out, it stays in there and I can glue the next one over the top without it impeding it. What we'll do now is when I screw this down is I'll use a smaller drill to drill through the existing piece here so we don't split that when I'm gluing this next piece on. So these are the screws I'm putting in so as not to split the timber. This is called a digital caliper. What I'm doing is I'm measuring the root diameter of the screw and it says 3.49, so I'll drill the holes. I'll use a 3.5mm drill and that leaves the screw some meat to screw in. I'll only be drilling through that initial piece there, which is about 7 or 8 mil. Take the driver bit out, put the drill in, I'll work either side of it. Wonder why I've got such a long screwdriver bit. I did have a shorter one and it's sitting out in the garden somewhere. Never to be seen again. If I don't drill them individually, as you push down on the bend, the hole moves out of a line. Clamp these when we do them as well. So I'll put clamps all the way along here and glue it on. Well, we're ready for gluing now. I'll mix up the glue. I'm probably going to make 3 pumps. We may need 4. Silica, I think it's called, this glue powder. When it goes off, it goes as hard as the hobs of hell. You can sand it, but it's a mission. You can see here, so it's pretty runny. I don't really want it that runny. I want it a bit stiffer than that. I need a bit more glue powder. Now the other thing we have to do before we glue on teak is teak has a natural silicon in it. It's a sort of thing. So what we do is we go and we wipe it all down with thinners to get rid of that silicon so that it glues better. this edge here, so we can pull it all down and glue it together, but I'll get these other bits on first. Well, here you can see we've got it all clamped up now, and use just about every clamp I've got. But anyway, you can see the squeeze we've got through there. You can see all the bits of squeeze. So yeah, onto the next layer. Back again. Now I've actually put the third section on here now. So we've got 3 laminates. We've got 3 layers of in here, giving us about 23 millimeters. Going to end up with approximately 32 millimeters. I think it should be enough material for us to bolt on to hold the platform in place. I have got one more piece I can add on, but I need to make up another piece. I've only got half of what I need, so I'll take all this off and we'll look at it, and we'll decide whether I'm going to put another piece on. That's come up really nicely. You can see now our laminated pieces there. It looks pretty good. Now we're going to try and do the other side. Friday night, 6:30. Now I didn't think I'd get a chance to get it all done, but here we are. We've now got the frame all glued. So taking a little bit of effort, and so it's all nicely glued and clamped together. We've just got to hope that in the morning, when I take everything apart, it stays the way it is now. So what we'll have to do in the morning as well is this end here we need to trim off flush, and this end here we're going to cut it back 10 mil. We're going to come up, we're going to put a radius, and then we're going to just taper it to the middle here. Same across this side, a radius on the end here, about 10 mil. Trim that one flush, then we'll put a 10 mil cap right over this end so that you won't see any of the gluing at the end. That's the theory. We'll see how many times I've got to do it, but anyway, I'm hoping it'll be just the one. It's starting to take shape, isn't it? It'll look pretty good, I think. We're running out of time as well. I've only got I think the boat comes out of the water in 7 days, so I've got to try. I don't think I will get it finished, but I'll give it my best shot. Right, we've put I'll put some of the rails how they're going to go, so I can get the length. Then I've got to rebate them to fit in here. Just trying to put this end in here, and you'll see that it's a bit hard to do yet. They're a bit tight at this end. So I just need to sand them a little bit to get them to fit. So I'm just going to sand these edges here. Get a fresh piece of sandpaper, I think. Well, we've got them all in there, so give you an idea of what it will look like. So Now what I have to do, first of all, every one of them I've got to go and take a millimetre off those ones, and a millimetre off this one. Then we should have them joining in the middle. Then I've got to get this part correct in here so that they all sit flush and we get nice clean joints like we've got down here. They'll come in better than that, but anyway, so we're making progress. Okay, just trimming the ends off these little bits here so we get a clean joint down the middle. It's quite a lot of work, but anyway. So now we've got everything virtually meeting in the middle here, and although it's on an angle, we now have everything hard up against the edges. When we cut it so it rebates in, we may have to just clean them up a little bit more, but slowly we're getting there. Now the thing we're going to do now is I need to cut these all to length at either end, take these off, so then I can cut this rebate, because that's going to be the hardest part to do, is because I've got to get this nice and tight in here. So I'm going to have to do each one individually. I mean, machine it and get it in there. So there. Now I've gone about a millimetre too short there. Perfect. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut out roughly the slot that we've got to go in here, and then I'll finish cutting it. I've just set the router up on here with the distance, which I've got to test, but I'll bandsaw out the material first like I did previously on the other ends. So I'm just setting, we are 100 millimeters wide, but I'm just cutting off at about 94 at the moment, and it's going to be 20 mil deep. Bit of a slow process. I want to do this one at a time so we don't get it wrong. Right, I'm just going to, it has to finish off at 20 mil, so I just want to take out, leave about 5 mil to machine off. So that's going to take off about 15, which will leave 3 or 4 mil to use on the router. So once again, this is going to be a bit of a slow process. Make sure I get the right side, otherwise it'll be a complete cocker. Just want to check that it's we're not going over 20 mil. Right, we're about 16 millimeters. So. Okay, now we're gonna, I've set this up at 95. Now we'll cut down to the, cut that piece out. That's the last of the bandsaw, and we're now down to doing it with the router and cleaning it up. This is the hard part. This is going to be our first test. Clean this up, see how it fits. So we're about to machine these ends here, which is the crucial part. This face here, the most crucial. So I've got to get it right. Just adjusted the backstop here. We're we're just a smidgen short. So we'll try this and see what happens. Right. We're not deep enough. For the other end, I've just brought the fence back a little bit, just to make it a bit shorter. Well, it seems it's a bit narrower, the timber at the other end, so I'd rather move it again than have it wrong the first time. Well, that one worked out pretty good. Right, it came out better than I could hope for. So you can see down here we've got pretty flush, pretty good. And this one was, my class is very good. Why the difference? I don't know. But anyway, the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to glue it all. Now, the problem I've got is I can't glue them all at one time. I've just got this G-clamp here, if I can move it. So you can see with the G-clamp, I'm only going to be able to get down to that first one there. So what I'm possibly going to have to do is glue the first two, then the outside two, then I can get to that one, but that one's going to be difficult as well. So I've got to work out a way of that I can get in here and clamp these. Whether I can get a G-clamp to fit through the gap, I'll have to check that out. If I can get a small G-clamp in there, otherwise I'm going to have to drill a hole and screw it here and there. And then the other little problem I've got, which I'm going to have to do before I glue all these, is I've got to put the cap down the end of here to try and glue that, to clamp that. I can really only clamp from here. So just another little problem to think about. Right, I'm just going to make the end caps for the end of the board. So they need to be 40mm by about 10mm. So these are 65, I think. What have we got here? Oh, 57. So I've got to take a piece off either side, then we'll put it through the thickness and we'll get them down to size. 2 pieces, 40 by 10, which will go on either end.